Boston Cannons Championship Run 2020 Season Replay, brought to you by Suffolk Construction.
Jet-powered excitement from Two That Like Blue in Annapolis. Tonight at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, the Boston Cannons belly up to the Connecticut Hammerheads for Major League Lacrosse. Here's a look at the current standings after Philadelphia's victory over New York earlier today eliminates the Lizards from top four contention. A Boston win this evening locks up a spot. If Connecticut wins, things are going to get more complicated. A very pleasant welcome to you. Along with Quint Kesnick, I'm Joe Bernanati. Thoughts from Courtney Fallon coming soon. Q, give me your overall impressions of these two teams as they head into this majorly important game.
Boston is a prime-time title contender. Yeah, they're 2-1, but I think they can stick with the Denver Outlaws and the Chesapeake Bayhawks. They have to get a little better over the next 2 or 3 days. Meanwhile, Connecticut, they're improving every time I watch them. I mean, the first time we saw the Hammerheads play this week, we're like, ooh, that team would be lucky to win a game. Now, all of a sudden, they're playing a strong brand of lacrosse because they're so young.
Befitting of their team nickname, the Cannons have a lot of offensive weapons, and the fastest of which could very well be Bryce Wasserman.
Well, Texas native who's done most of his damage in open space. When you give him a lot of green real estate, man, this guy can run. He has got turbo power and turning the corner to success.
The expansion Hammerheads, they're getting better with every game as the week goes along. They'll need Bubba Voigt tonight.
Well, when Bubba Voigt is getting his looks from inside 8 yards from the inside, this shooter out of Syracuse is dynamite. Now, he's a product of the guys on the perimeter doing their job. Voigt's as good of a finisher as it gets.
Voigt is a fun-loving attacker who's been having the last laugh lately. It's time to roll. Let's send you to public address announcer, Tom DeGraaf.
Please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
A Major League Lacrosse show of support for the players in their solidarity, in their salute to our African-American players. Sideline reporter Courtney Fallon has more thoughts to add on the story.
Commissioner Sandy Brown had a meeting today with the 4 African-American MLL players. They raised an issue of what they envisioned was the league's lack of support for Black Lives Matter and social justice issues. I was told that it ended positively, it was constructive, and now the league is working diligently with the players to forward their initiatives in the game of lacrosse. Now, obviously, more important than ever.
As Courtney mentioned, it was an honest and difficult conversation. Major League Lacrosse is all about inclusion as we get set for the Hammerheads and the Cannons tonight. This evening's starting netminders are presented by New Balance, made for lacrosse. Quint, we have been interested to see how Sean Scanoni would build on his goalie of the year performance last year. He's been really good.
Lefty from Long Island, top goalie in the nation in 2019, playing collegiately at UMass.
He'll stare at the other end and also find one of Major League Lacrosse's best. Nick Morocco was cool as a cucumber the other day.
Top goalie in the country, 2018, the year prior. So we got a pair of first-team All-Americans in net. Morocco playing at Georgetown for head coach Kevin Warren. And both have had wonderful success as pros. This is a different game for goalies. Again, you got the shot clock, you got bigger, stronger, faster athletes, the ball's moving, you got a 2-point arc.
Head coach for Connecticut, Bill Warder, a past coach of the year in Major League Lacrosse. He's running things for the expansion Connecticut Hammerheads, who look to get control of the opening draw and do so with Ryan Bevel's help off the wing.
Good to see Coach here because he recently accepted a job as the head of admissions at the Salisbury School in Connecticut. So there was some question about his availability. But he's here, and as I said in the open, this team gets better. They're really starting to put it together. I thought last night they took a mammoth step forward.
Connecticut prevailing over New York. The Lizards have been eliminated from competition, from playoff contention with their loss earlier today to Philadelphia. First offensive set. McNamara on the kick inside. Lomas missed it from zero angle. This will be chased down to the sideline. It'll stay with Connecticut. Sean Quirk is pushing the buttons for the Boston Cannons as usual. He wanted to put pressure on this man, 22 in blue, Will Sands. He puts Pugel on him to start things for Boston. McNamara's bouncer's blocked. That was at the tail end of a 60-second shot clock in Major League Lacrosse. Look out, goalie Nick Morocco chased from the crease, but able to shovel the clear to begin with the help of Tim Edwards. Brian Cole has been heating up in the last couple of games for Boston. The Cannons in the white jerseys. Referees tonight, Brian Abbott, Steve Ruppel, Adam Petrocarlo, and Tim McCaffrey. The guys in white, very happy to see 95 White adding to his offensive exploits of a season ago. New in town for the Cannons. He and Randy Stotts acquired for P.T. Ritchie and 3 high picks from Philadelphia. Cole fires. Scanoni right there, laser locked on that ball.
Tell you that shot selection in the first 5 minutes of games is critical. You got a guy like Scanoni who's catching it now, seeing the ball, feeling good about himself. He's in rhythm. I mean, that is a dream start for the lefty.
That's Quint Kesnick. I'm Joe Beninati. Courtney Fallon is our sideline reporter tonight. Major League Lacrosse season number 20. A pandemic-shortened 9-day sprint to a title. These two teams itching to get into the semifinal Saturday showdown. One more day of regular season play tomorrow. Michael Kraus, the prize rookie out of Virginia. Kraus inside, yanks that one too high.
This offense is based on Will Sands, 22 with the ball right now, quarterback behind the goal.
Bounce shot, Morocco eats it up, and he'll clamp down on the rebound.
Kraus, the left-handed wing, that's his place, and Voigt's going to be the inside man. My ultimate question, Joe, is midfield production.
McNamara is a guy Bill Warder loves in that role. We'll see how often he touches it tonight.
And Razowitz.
Yes.
Cody Razowitz, Hopkins alum.
This Boston team, however, Q, they brag about their depth, offensive depth everywhere. On the move, it's Frank Brown.
Frank Brown, one of 5 Native American-based players who play in Major League Lacrosse. This guy is a stud. I mean, he's 6'3", 210. Had more than a century of points at Hobart, plus 100, NEC Player of the Year, 3-sport athlete in high school. And I expect Boston to start with good energy, and they should be crisp and fresh coming off a day off.
Pretty amazing what you can pick up in a supplemental draft, huh? Boston nabbing Frank Brown that way.
That guy had 5 points against Syracuse his senior year, 3 goals and 2 assists. Plug that tape in and tell me how a guy like that sneaking through the radar.
Schwenk and Reisman, an all-star Major League Lacrosse faceoff man, gets the draw for the Cannons. Subs coming on off of Sean Quirk's bench. 47 in the white is Kyle Jackson, who played collegiately at Michigan. Wasserman back behind the cage. They'll swing it on around for Stotts. He's the playmaker. He's a fine feeder, 83 in the white. Jackson working in against Ryan Bevel, the short stick D-mid. On the hop, Jackson going to kick it back behind the cage for Wasserman, who will attack with speed all throughout the night against Robert Mooney. Throwback for Jackson, he's inverted. Shot clock is at 17. Jackson turns, gets a step topside, waits to pull the trigger. Now he does, and Scanoni took the angle away and made that stop. Loose ball push, they're going to keep it with Boston.
That's a second save by Scanoni, who just comes off his arc just enough there. From the mid-range shot, your hands aren't going to be quick enough to make the stop. But just see, watch his angle play here. He's on the pipe, on the pipe, on the pipe. And then he'll come out at the last second to almost like a hockey maneuver, Joe, to shorten the angle.
Challenge the shooter. Cole slithers inside, working there against Renz. Stotts is next. Stotts off the face dodge. That's an easy one for Scanoni, who's been in the teens in saves all games so far this season. Connecticut at 1-2, Boston at 2-1. On the lead, sent out there for Trevor Smith. Smith will sub out. Ben Martin has it in his cross, number 6 in the powder blue out of Dartmouth. Will Sands, who will coordinate throughout the night, along with Kraus, the All-American national champion out of Virginia. Martin again as they swing it. Shot clock's down to 15. 1-0 early for Boston. Frank Brown on the board. Swim move inside. Sharp angle. Morocco at the end of the line there, waiting for Martin. Ground ball belongs to Zach Goodrich. Youngster, just 22 years of age, running for cover. Part of a deep short stick defensive midfield for these Cannons. Long range, it's bounced wide. Gilray uncorking one. Gilray not afraid to pull the trigger at all with that long stick. Interior, there he is. Scanoni robbed him. Back come the Hammerheads.
Call the Anne Arundel County Police Department on that one, Joe.
A fantastic stop. This one skips to the goal. Morocco alertly has that. On a bounce pass, away comes Scooten for the Cannons.
Watch Scanoni match up with the long pole. Control his rebound. He's an incredible athlete. He's 5'11", listed at 270. Yeah, he's a big guy, but man, he takes up a lot of goal, and he can move. He's got the hand-eye coordination. He's got all the traits you look for in an outstanding goalie.
Cockerton on the exchange. This Whistler from Upgren is kicked out of there. Scanoni looks sharp once again.
People are going to make the obvious comparison to Sal Locascio, also a UMass Minuteman. Played in this league 1 year.
Big and bulky.
Big and bulky, but you know, Sal's hand speed is untouched. I'm still waiting to see another goalie who has hands like Sal. Sal, a big body, obviously cut down the angle, but he was a nimble athlete. He can make plays out of the goal, tremendous outlet passes.
One of the more comfortable nights, Quint, that we've enjoyed during this Major League Lacrosse regular season. Razowitz on the move here in Annapolis. Temperatures throughout the days have been mid-90s, way over 100 degrees on the field. Seems like a pleasant night for lacrosse as the lights are starting to take effect. Razowitz makes one more. This one sailed wide by McNamara. Always dangerous from the midfield.
Connecticut, I mean, they look like a college team in their sets. Really well organized.
Razowitz is picked up by Goodrich. That pass was too tough for Bubba Voigt. It's a turnover.
That's okay. Late in the shot clock, there's 2 seconds to go. They jam the ball inside.
Scott Hooper is going to have more and more responsibilities defensively for Boston this year. There's a timeout on the field, going to give the guys a chance for a hydration break. We can send you now field level to Courtney Fallon.
Sean Scanoni grabbed 15 saves last night. That was the highest of any goalie in this entire tournament. He already has 5 saves in this game already. I was just walking behind the Cannons bench after one of his saves. They all scratching their heads. They're like, how did he get that? He was the hero for Connecticut's first win of the season yesterday. Head coach Bill Warder told me, this kid is the best goalie I have ever coached, ever. High praise.
High praise indeed. Coach Warder counseling his troops, and Scanoni starting swiftly tonight.
I met him last summer in BWI in the airport. We were flying out of BWI at Jason Gates, and there was this guy with his Dallas Rattlers t-shirt on, and I'm like, that's got to be Sean. So I went up and introduced myself, and we ended up talking for about an hour. Really sharp, understands defensive slide packages. He's mature. He's kind of chill. He's kind of calm. You know, goalies come in two brain types, Joe. You got the hyper types like myself, and then you got the real chill guys like Sean. The guys who are like oblivious to stress and stuff.
Not very often does a goalie of the year begin the season as Scanoni did last year, not even the starter for his team in Dallas. Morocco, who knows a thing or two about top-flight netminding, an all-star in his own right, one of the captains for the Cannons.
I don't know why Sean was overlooked. Again, both of these guys, 2018 Morocco on the right, 2019 Scanoni on the left. Division I first team. Okay, Ensign Kelly winners as the outstanding goalie in D1. I mean, Scanoni as a senior was 62%, winning 10 games. Morocco put up giant numbers as well, 55% back in 2018.
Quint, both you and I tended goal in a right-handed stance, but it seems like more and more I'm seeing more lefties come through, and in fact both of these guys tonight are left-handed.
I mean, if I could recreate my game, I would be a 6'2" lefty.
Because
I'd be rangy.
6'2", I understand. Lefty, why?
It's just a different look.
More than halfway through this opening quarter, low scoring, Boston on top, the only goal belonging to Frank Brown. Kyle Jackson driving in against Bevel, gets underneath. Here comes the help defensively. Well timed there by the Hammerheads. Nice scoop. Cockerton, the goal mouth finisher for the Cannons, collecting that ball. Wasserman with a speed dodge. Another stop there at the doorstep, and this belongs to Connecticut for a clear. Rapidly they get it ahead, just out of the reach there of a lunging Michael Brown. Cole will counterpunch.
Scanoni's on fire, but I will say Connecticut right now putting way too much pressure on him. How long can he sustain this pace he's making?
We have the two highest scoring midfielders from a season ago in this game. Cole for Boston, then of Atlanta. McNamara of Dallas. Both of those guys were the two highest scoring midfielders throughout. Brown isolating against Mike Brown. Stotts gets pressure, we hear the whistle, and then there's a stick exchange. Officials are going to keep it with Connecticut. Flag down. Extra man soon. There are now multiple flags down. As the exchange continues between player and official. 51 in the blue is Brendan Collins, who played collegiately at Notre Dame. Charlie Durbin joining him. Extra man soon for Connecticut. McNamara glides in and bounces it high.
One and a half.
The officials mic'd for sound tonight. We have microphones on the cage.
83 has 2 fouls. 2 fouls on 83. The first one is delay of game, 30 seconds.
You have to get.
Second
You
one
can't
is
play.
slash.
You can step
1
out of
minute.
the way.
83 has
but
2
you can't
fouls.
play. You understand
Delay of
what I'm
game,
saying?
slash, 30
Or
and
just,
1.
Or just sidestep.
They're both
Hell out
really
of the way.
Quint, this is Connecticut's 4th game of the season. In the first 3, they've only had 4 extra man opportunities total. Just 2 for 4 in the first 3 games on EMO. Kraus will look to light up now for the Hammerheads in the blue. We drift below 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Change the formation for Sands. Kick it inside. Score! On the run, a lightning quick shot from Lomas.
This is coaching. If you're a high school coach, okay, this is Lomas right here. He'll ultimately end up cutting left-handed, but see what else goes on right here. They start 1-4. They switch it. This crease man flashes down low, draws the defense. Lomas cuts behind him. So Voigt, number 1 in blue, cuts to the near post, Joe. And did you see how the defense went to him? Like a school of fish. Lomas sneaks behind him and catches it left-handed. That's great choreography.
Lomas, who tallied earlier in the season against Philadelphia, 3 times a captain of the High Point Panthers during his collegiate days, levels the count at 1 with that goal on extra man. Schwenk comes up with a draw for Connecticut. He's filling in for an injured Noah Rack tonight for the boys in blue. Trouble here. Scudens trapped on the end line. Getting help on the clear.
Dangerous pass.
Very much so. Ben Spencer bounding and slipping between the riders finds Cole for the clear.
That doesn't look like much, but that's a huge play by Spencer. It really is, because Scudens' pass was ill-advised. He got double-teamed top of the arc. If he drops that and loses it, it could be a 2 because it's an empty net.
Speaking of 2, Challen Rogers is out there. He's been prone to pulling the trigger from deep. Also collecting a highlight reel over the shoulder behind the back goal earlier this season. Rogers will kick it. Wasserman feeds. Up top, Jackson fires. Missed the mark there. Tried to go to the offside on Scanoni.
Boston's been utilizing a lot of on-ball picks. Not for this guy, Wasserman.
Shot clock at 10. Wasserman lost the handle. He was trail checked by Mooney. Ball down. Osika in a race. They're going to give the ball after the loose ball push to Boston.
So Wasserman likes space. He likes to be left alone and use his speed. Most of these other Dodgers, typically here comes a pick. Top of the arc, and that's typical of Boston.
Swimming out of that 2-man game, Randy Stotts has it with a short stick defender on him. Finds the open man on the interior. Rogers stops. Scanoni made the rebound there. It's loose. Cockerton digging. A wild fray, and it's Scanoni who has it in his cross with some pushing and shoving. Schmoller getting involved with Cole. Gunnar Schmoller, another guy that Connecticut added through the supplemental draft.
Good bounce shot. Look at the skill by Jackson coming up with that loose ball, behind the back pass, and now this is like Sharks. On Chum. Got to keep your helmet on, Joe. Schmoller's helmet comes off. Good look at Gunnar Schmoller, defender.
One of the key characters in the movie Jaws was named Quint, wasn't he? You should love that film.
I do, Captain Quint.
All right.
I used to wear the Jaws T-shirt
1 and 1 plus 5.
constantly as a kid.
1 and 1 plus 5 for Paul.
Officials in conversation after this
Give the
exchange.
ball back to and give the ball a blow. All right, fine. All right.
Well, that's how you lose a helmet.
5 on 5, ripping the helmet off is an extra 5. 1 and 1 on the first one. The guy who ripped his helmet off gets an extra 5. You got it? 1 and 1. We're playing 9 on 9, but he's serving an extra 5 for taking his helmet off. All right? Everybody's even. We're playing 9 on 9.
PJ, give us a number.
2 1-minute penalties with another 5. No. 2 1-minute penalties and an extra 5 for the guy who ripped his helmet off. No. The 5 is just he's out. He's just
So
out.
Cole is not eligible to play for
5 on
5
5
minutes.
for a minute.
It's not a time-serving foul in terms of having an advantage on the field, Joe. So it's 9 on 9 right now for a minute. Then we'll go back to full strength, 10 on 10. But Cole, because he ripped the helmet off, has to sit for 5 minutes. And I think if he gets another one of those penalties, he potentially could be kicked out of the ball game.
It's got to be blue ball.
1-1 score very early on. The
Kind of a
officials
rarity.
Still sorting. We've seen a couple of
No,
officiating
well,
rarities in this turn,
yeah,
in this
like-
week of play.
You know, remember year 1, fighting was legal. And I remember a couple fights. Brian Reese had a fight. Dave Stilley had a fight.
Dave Stilley, what a hammer on defense was.
When all of a sudden, when hockey has fights and they're on skates. When there's a lacrosse fight, I remember year one, I remember being like, oh my gosh, these guys are going to kill each other because you're not on skates. There were parents and their kids who stood up and walked out after a fight. And all of a sudden, Jake Steinfeld said, you know what? That was a bad idea.
9-on-9 and extra 5. They know. Come on.
The officials still sorting things out. After their deliberation, Cole knows that he's going to be in the box there for a while.
It's taking too long. Let's go.
Lomas on the board for Connecticut. Brown for Boston. That's Frank Brown
The other guy hits him back.
out of Hobart.
I think you got to go 1-1, and then the helmet.
Connecticut defender Ryan Bevel also looking for
Here it is again.
some input.
Schmoller and Cole. Don't like it.
I need your helmet.
Can opener. Grabs him in the neck, actually.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Let's go.
The officials sending both of them off to their room.
Wonder if they have any history, Joe.
Could be.
When you cover hockey games, do you have like a folder for history?
No, you look back on all of these sheets. All of them, you keep
Like
them all. Yeah.
Fought with this guy 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Used to be roommates, but had a bad something go on, and like they square off every week.
A lot of things that carry over. Some
Is
of
that
them,
in your notes?
Some of them that can be mentioned, some of them that can't.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You learn a lot on the team plane ride that you can't use on the air.
Like they signed ex-free agent and cost me my job, and now I'm playing for another team, and I want to beat the.
Trust me. We'll talk during the commercial.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. McNamara on the go. Gets inside. Just missing the target there.
McNamara.
Speaking of guys who love hockey.
Yeah, Marquette 2017. Grew up in Eastview, Eagan, Minnesota. Started playing hockey when he was a youngster and eventually made the crossover to lacrosse.
In 5th grade, hockey coach showed him lacrosse. Sands on the outside. Shot clock's at 17. McNamara gets the alley, feeds one low for Voigt. Morocco sprints from the cage to take it for Boston. Major League Lacrosse action continuing here from Annapolis, Maryland, the 2020 season that was supposed to begin in May, late May, and run just about 10 weeks. They've condensed it into 9 days. The top 4 get into the playoffs. The semifinals that'll be contested here on Saturday. Championship game comes Sunday, 2 p.m. on ESPN. And both of these teams, Boston and Connecticut, still have life getting into the Final 4. Cockerton will skip a man over the top. Now bring it for Frank Brown, who has the goal for Boston. He's measured by Osika.
Even strength, 10 on 10. Cole just can't play for 5 minutes.
Stotts on the go. That for relieving Gunnar Schmoller of his helmet a few moments ago. Pass to the front here. Scanoni just gets a chunk of that. Scanoni shuffled over in time to make another key stop. A low-scoring first quarter coming to its end. Ball juggled, then held by Mooney. Mooney fights his way through the pack and starts to clear for Connecticut.
That's a pressure grounder by Mooney and a big play. 2-sport star at Yale. He played soccer and lacrosse.
Greg Weil had to wait there at the midline cue. He didn't want to go offside.
You're playing the clock right now for Connecticut.
Which hits 18 right now. Shot clock's turned off. Hooper on Sands. Cole watches from the box. Sands on the dead run, feeds away and fires wide. That was a la Mark Millen back in the day.
It's an exclamation point. He's running away from the goal and able to torque and twist and generate great velocity. Millen would take it up the left-hand side.
Quick pass to the crease, deflected off the goalpost. And the ricochet, no harm done for the Cannons. We complete 15 minutes from Annapolis, Maryland, deadlocked at 1 apiece. As we would expect, Morocco and Scanoni sharpen goal. Nice to get out on the water here in Annapolis. But be back for the start of the second right after these. Major League Lacrosse is presented by Progressive. making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Warrior, play to win. Sector Spider ETFs, the next chapter in investing. New Balance, made for lacrosse. And by Powerade, more power for more. Speaking of power, the power of the Blue Angels on display just outside of Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Field level in a 1-1 game. Backup netminder for Boston, Dom Madonna, watching Nick Morocco in this netminding duel with Sean Scanoni in just a 1-1 game. Lets you know that both keepers have been on very good behavior. This is Connecticut and Boston in the wake of an earlier win, Philadelphia barrage downing the New York Lizards. The Lizards come up winless through the week of the regular season. They are out of playoff contention now. Philadelphia very eagerly waiting for the outcome of this one to see if they will get in among the top 4. At the top of the ladder in the Major League Lacrosse standings, unbeaten Denver, 4-0. Chesapeake, 3-1. Both of those teams off today. They will be involved in tomorrow's finale of the regular season. Boston in the white jerseys, Connecticut in blue. Joe Beninati, Quint Kesnick upstairs, Courtney Fallon on the sidelines for you. There's the rundown of the standings to this point, day 6 of Major League Lacrosse. Frank Brown on the hop, outside the 2-point arc. That's 16 yards from the goal. Swinging on around for Wasserman. Tending to him is Mooney. Here comes the help from Bevel. Wasserman will shove him below goal line extended.
Here comes the speed.
Wasserman fidgets, feeds the front, and Scanoni picked it beautifully.
Scanoni made 7 saves in that first quarter.
Ball down. Hooper in there, and it comes up. Whoa! Michael Brown tripped up out of the pack. Wrestling there with Upgren. PJ Colello, Miko Red Arrow, Scott Rayburn, and Chris Vahey, your officials tonight.
13, trip, white, 1-3, trip, 1.
Upgren on his way back to the Boston bench. Second EMO opportunity for Connecticut. They are now 3 for 5 on this season. Voigt straight away.
Voigt won't be there long. He'll cut inside.
McNamara on the exchange. They change the formation.
Lefty cut.
Feed it inside. There's Voigt. Denied by Morocco as we get ready to send you down. Our sideline reporter is Courtney Fallon. She has more on the harsh feelings being exchanged.
I sat down with Nicky Morocco yesterday, and he was talking about the underdog mentality that Boston has right now. And he told me, listen, once we get that mean streak going, which I think we did last night, it started last night at that game, I don't think anyone's going to be able to push us around. Kind of foreshadowing this? I think they're being a little too mean.
Cole and Schmoller had that first quarter exchange, which cost the high-scoring midfielder Brian Cole some 6 minutes in the penalty box.
But it didn't cost his team a man-down opportunity. And you know, while the officiating has been great this week, I thought Cole deserved more.
Rogers fires and scores! Challen Rogers.
British Columbia products out of Stony Brook, 2016. Just a faulty double team and no rotation behind it. So often now, these defenses are help happy. They're slide happy. They're creating offense by double teaming guys who are not a threat to score a goal. So the slide comes there, that's fine. But there's nothing behind it. There's no recovery behind it.
Friendly reminder about the new Major League Lacrosse game ball. Everybody's talking about it. It's now available at signaturelacrosse.com. Use code MLL for a 10% discount. The ball belongs to Reisman and Spencer of Boston in the white jerseys. Levangie running along with Kramer there defensively. Landon Kramer, who we expect to see playing with both a long stick and short stick on D tonight. Jackson will bring it back up top. Challen Rogers has given Boston the lead. He and Frank Brown sandwiching strikes around a goal from Dan Lomas. Dirth sends that one high. Cal Dirth, another powerfully built big guy in the midfield for Boston.
See if Reisman gets banged up on this face-off here. He's trying to corner.
Came up limping on that right foot, right leg.
They still have Nate Farrell, 36 from RIT.
Rogers leans in, gets a step. Scanoni off of his line to make that save. The rebound is Gunnar Schmollers. Schmoller, who played at UMBC. Ryan Bevel is going to wait, make the exchange for McNamara, who's been sprinting up and down the field tonight. Lights starting to take full effect here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, the football home of the United States Naval Academy midshipmen. Quint, doesn't the lacrosse field look great, though, without the football lines?
Oh, amazing. That should be mandatory at the D1 level.
We've been here for countless games with the lines on the field. It's nice to see it as attractive as it is tonight and throughout this Major League Lacrosse season. Obviously, with special thanks to Superintendent of the Naval Academy, Vice Admiral Sean Buck. Reisman being tended to on the sideline. Athletic trainer for the Cannons is Jason Byrne. Major League Lacrosse Commissioner Sandy Brown said that Major League Lacrosse began its talks on this return to play in March. They were wondering if they could play in multiple venues. It turned out that this was going to be the only one. Behind the back, Stotts just missed. We mentioned Vice Admiral Sean Buck in the Naval Academy, but Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, event coordinator Buddy Rose, deserving of a great deal of credit for getting Major League Lacrosse back on the field, and welcome here.
All players and handlers, helpers, tested prior to coming here.
Slingshot from Upgren. Make it 3-1.
Boston's pressure's been relentless. You see Connecticut's defense looking up at the big screen saying, how did that happen? Upgren out of Tufts 2016. He's got all sorts of career records at Tufts. Wasserman, Joe, we label him as a speed dodger, but here he does a nice job, again, rolling away from a double team. And on the backside, Connecticut's down a man. And so Wasserman does a great job there, circling away from pressure, composing himself, looking the defense over, and boom, he throws that skip pass to the open man on the backside.
You and Coach Zimmerman always talk about eyes up. That was eyes up there from Wasserman. We see Nate Farrell taking the draw for Boston. Courtney Fallon has more on Kevin Reisman.
So Reisman, a couple of colorful words on the sidelines, to say the least, coming off limping and saying he tweaked his hamstring. He keeps saying, damn, he's so upset. But they're working on him immediately with the trainers. He should be back in at some point this game.
Colorful vocabulary, huh? I'm sure Courtney is getting an earful at field level. This was what happened and how we saw Reisman react as he sprints to the ground ball. And you're going to watch him take a couple of awkward steps right now. Ow, ow, ow. Inside roll. Kraus finds Voigt. It's down on the deck. Outside the 2-point arc. Connecticut in the blue jerseys, trailing by 2. Nice work there. Tim Edwards comes out with a ground ball.
You're seeing a lot of minor injuries coming off the pandemic. Going from 0 to 100 miles an hour.
Goodrich with that laser beam, fought off by Scanoni.
Okay, that's only natural. The difference now is that you're stacking games on back-to-back days, 4 games in a row. That never happens. Okay, that's never happened in these athletes' career. In college, you play maybe 2 games in 3 days is the hardest turnaround. So minor injury, you really pay the price for minor injuries in this format.
Boston's taken a lot of shots on Sean Scanoni. He almost is in double figures already with saves. He has 9. Rogers powering his way in. Nice distribution there. Scanoni with a fine stop on Cockerton. Scanoni living up to the advanced billing, the reigning goalie of the year in Major League Lacrosse, looking very much the part tonight. Razowitz, who played collegiately at Johns Hopkins, leaves it in back for Brendan Collins.
One of a handful of guys who've changed their names since college.
Razowitz. During training camp, I'm on the field just double checking. Razowitz, right? He goes, no, I like Razowitz, no D in there. Okay, you got it. Whatever you say, Cody, my pleasure. Collins will bring it on around. Osika wants it, former Bayhawk. Picked up by Brian Cole. Osika on the shovel. Voigt there. Yaza Scaparata on defense for Boston. John Yazo Scaparata played collegiately at Brown. Morocco makes the save. Yazo Scaparata dodging Kraus, and away he'll go.
That was a high level of difficulty save that Morocco made look really easy.
Both of these guys, terrific, minding the twine at their respective ends. Riley O'Connor, game-winning goal hero against Philadelphia recently. He'll distribute it on around. They swing it. Wasserman is set to go. Stepping out in his lane was Robert Mooney, another Ivy Leaguer out of Yale. Tough shot there for Cockerton. Backed up well. Stotts sends it over the top. Wasserman fires. Scanoni to his knees to deny.
Scanoni does a great job of moving pipe to pipe in the bouncer.
Turnover here. Cockerton feeds. Bang, bang! Riley O'Connor.
And you got to push. Yeah.
It's 3 unanswered goals for Boston.
White. Good goal.
That's a gritty goal from the Cannons. I'm sensing a resolve and an attitude and a work ethic and a hustle. Cockerton comes up with a loose ball, and Connecticut's defense is all scrambled out. Here's Weil, throws it back, and the ball hooks in his stick. Cockerton's on the scene. Not only does he make the scoop, he gets pushed, pays the price, and his teammate buries the rock. O'Connor. 3 straight.
Riley O'Connor, during his high school days north of the border, the tutelage of Brody Merrill. Q, when we get a chance, I want to talk about what makes Brody so great. But U.S. Lacrosse and Major League Lacrosse, they've honored Nick Morocco, the goalie for Boston, as the hometown hero of today's game. The 2019 Major League Lacrosse Man of the Year's community initiatives, helping him serve as the primary spokesman for the Cannons Fighting Cancer program. That raised more than $100,000 for Boston Children's Hospital back in 2019. You can support U.S. Lacrosse and Major League Lacrosse in growing the game, local communities. Be sure to visit uslacrosse.com. Morocco out from under his face mask for a moment. Courtney Fallon can add to his story.
Nicky Baracco, he's one of the 3 captains on this Boston Cannons team that is fit to run for a championship. They kept telling me all week, listen, it's Denver, Chesapeake, Denver. They're the ones that are expected to win. Why not us? Good for them for keeping to win. There's been a lack of respect for Boston over the last 3 years. It really rubs these guys the wrong way. But they like that. They like that underdog mentality. Say it's going to push them very far.
Last summer, Courtney, Boston finished up 9-7. They were the number 3 seed due to a tiebreaker. They lost in the semifinals to the Denver Outlaws. They blew a lead in that game, and I'm sure it's been under their skin all the while. That's why they were hoping to get back on the field in 2020.
There's a sense of determination here and grit with guys like Cockerton, who's treated like the king of Quincy. Last year, I was there broadcasting a game, Joe, and Cockerton went off for a 5-goal performance. And the fans who love the Cannons, they got such a cool little setup there. I want to talk about that a little in a second. But they were treating him like he was Gary Gate. And it was really cool to watch. It's a community-based team in a suburb of Massachusetts. You go to the game, and it's very much like a summer fair. You know, there's climbing walls. They have alcohol for sale and hot dogs, and it's just, I got a feeling of a sense of community.
And just trust me, you know all the players on the field and all of us, part of the Major League Lacrosse TV crew, we miss the fans. We wish you could be here those of you who are partial to Boston and those who will be new fans of the Connecticut Hammerheads.
And the Boston Cannons owner put over $1 million into that municipal stadium. It's a veteran stadium in Quincy. And the local high school plays football games there. They play soccer. They play all their sports there. So that commitment, that investment in the Cannons in that stadium now has embraced the whole community. So you got a whole high school and middle school kids who are on board and come out to games. And, it was a lot of fun.
That's his call. It's got to be. Okay.
5:35 to go in the second quarter. On a throwback for Razowitz, there's Collins next in line. Severe angle, drawing a double team. The wrap check comes from Pugel, and then the pass is over the head of Sands. Good defense from Boston. Sloppy Connecticut, already into double figures in terms of the turnover story, as Jackson lopes back for Boston. A win today would improve the Cannons to 3-1. Cole fires that, missed the target.
Connecticut's got one goal. It was on the extra man. Scanoni's made a ton of saves. He's in double-digit saves already, yet they don't have any transition off those saves. I'd like to see them break out of the zone harder on a save.
Wasserman flying in, turns back. Good work there by Robert Mooney defensively. Bevel on the outside against Kyle Jackson. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Challen Rogers stalked there by Andrew Helmer. Coach Warder says that Helmer reminds him of Joel White back in the day. There's another outside bomb. It's 5-1.
Take a look at this. Kyle Jackson with the smile. Hill Academy, Ontario native, played at Michigan. Watch this backhanded variety, Joe. Watch it. A distance backhander. Caught Mr. Scanoni napping.
Q, you just mentioned it with Jackson coming from the Hill Academy. Brody Merrill was one of the best defenders we've ever seen in Major League Lacrosse. He was baby-faced in 05 on maybe the best Baltimore Bayhawks squad that's ever been assembled in Major League Lacrosse. What's made Brody so good as a teacher and a coach?
Well, he's athletically gifted, but his mind, you know, I had a nice conversation with him 2 weeks ago doing an article for Inside Lacrosse about how interior defenders have to play their man and then double team. And he took me through all the nuances, as you see the goal by Jackson. Took me through all the subtleties and the nuances of that, what's going on in his mind, what his eyes are doing, what his feet are doing, what the thought process is, how to kind of trap ball carriers, how to be deceptive as a defender.
O'Connor drive, that's stabbed by Scanoni, lobs it out there on the run.
And Brody's always been one of our favorites.
Good ball movement here. Morocco made the stop there. He dipped down to beat Bubba Voigt.
Brody's got a certain authentic quality in dealing with his teammates and us. He plays hard. He really respects the game. He's as humble as it gets. Yet he's a fierce competitor. I mean, he runs hard for 60 minutes like nobody we've ever seen, like a gazelle, and just making plays and continuing to unveil new layers of his game.
He was Kyle Jackson's coach. So many of the players in Major League Lacrosse from north of the border via the Hill Academy, and Brody was a ground ball magnet. He knew where the ball was going ahead of time. Scanoni made that save on Wasserman. Bodies up on Jackson so that the ground ball can come up for Michael Brown. Brown being chased by Cole. You have 20 seconds to clear the midline in Major League Lacrosse. Not an issue now for Bevel. Getting late in this opening half, 2.5 to go in the second quarter. Boston all of a sudden with the last 4 points on the board and a 5-1 lead. Kraus, the Connecticut native, so he'll be playing his home games about, 20 miles from where the Hammerheads' home will be in Fairfield. Michael, who hails from New Canaan. Sands waiting with his defender hung up. Whistles blare out. Crease violation, the call.
How'd he get there? Swear I'd be politicking. He got pushed. He ran in. He got pushed. He ran in.
Well, which one is it?
It depends on what color jersey you're wearing.
Exactly. It's all in the eye of the beholder. 1 minute, 48 seconds to go in the opening half.
Boston looks pretty good tonight, Joe.
Dearth spins back. That was an awkward shot, and yet still Scanoni snags it out of the cross of O'Connor, and away come the Hammerheads with Will Renz.
He's got that no rebound pocket going on in the goal.
It's a suction cup. When it hits that cross of Scanoni's, it stays right there.
It's amazing. And severe angle shots have no chance of scoring on him. None. There's just no goal available. You got to get to the middle of the field.
Quint, teach the young goalies, what's the secret to making that nice soft catch on shots that are coming in that hot?
A pocket that's like 3.5 feet deep.
Rister off the outside of the cage. Voigt's there, chased by Morocco. 50 seconds to go. Still Connecticut ball. They want a quick reset here. Morocco scrambles back into the crease. Sands on the hop. Hooper with him. Peering over top of the goal, puts it outside the arc to Razowitz. Working in against Goodrich, the all-star shorty.
I lived against the wall in middle school and high school, Joe. I had no life, but it paid for college.
Kraus sent it wide, and that's where I'm sure you learned the soft hands in the net. 21.3 to go. Quick passing inside, and it's Ben Martin with a stash.
I think this one caught the Cannons defense maybe not exactly as ready as they should have been. Ben Martin out of Dartmouth, 2020 captain, career shortened by the COVID-19 pandemic. You see, that's just a communication issue and you have two Boston players turn to each other and put their palms up like, I thought you were going to cover him. No, I thought you were going to cover him. That's why you call out numbers.
It wasn't a penalty.
I got number 6. I got 6.
Here we go. We're down.
First game, first half highlight, presented by Sector Spider ETFs, the next chapter in investing. 5-2 Q with 20 seconds left.
Call out numbers and check up.
Schwenk looking for a ground ball. Right there, 17 in the white was Jason Brewster, giving Boston a last crack at it. Stott swivels, shovels it wide.
Outway!
It'll be Connecticut ball to close the opening half. Boston and Connecticut each would love to add a win to its totals. This their second to last game of the regular season, already with New York eliminated with a loss earlier today. 30 minutes into the contest, Scanoni and the Hammerheads trail the Cannons by 3. Stick around. Halftime festivities coming up on a nice night in Annapolis. When we return, a special look back at two of the finest families of lacrosse, the Gates and the Powells, on display for you right after these words. Major League Lacrosse celebrating its 20th anniversary season. This pandemic-shortened sprint to a championship being played at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. We are enjoying the Boston Cannons and the Connecticut Hammerheads tonight. Boston entering play with a mark of 2-1. Connecticut at 1-2. Each of these teams would love to bag another victory. Connecticut just about has to have one, since Philadelphia, a team it lost to, already has a win today and 2 wins on the season. The barrage eliminated the New York Lizards from playoff contention earlier today. Top seeded for the moment, Denver, unbeaten. The team they dropped last night in overtime, the Chesapeake Bayhawks, are in second place for the moment. Boston Cannons wouldn't mind upending them for that spot before too long. Each of these teams, both of them actually have a game tomorrow to close the campaign. McNamara, bounce shot, score!
Is that a 2, Joe, or do you step inside the line?
Very close to the 2-point arc.
Old school, use the earth, young man. Ryan McNamara steps inside the arc, bounces that one a good yard outside the crease, and watch this ball kick and work for the shooter. Boom. I mean, he pegs the corner with a gorgeous overhand bouncer. As I said, Marquette 2017. Ryan built the culture there. I mean, he's one of the original guys who went into nothing with Coach Amplo, and they created a culture, they created a chemistry, they've created the winning formula for that program.
Coaches on a field want to check that one out and see if it was a 2-point tally.
What'd you think?
I thought he was on the line. McNamara had 2 2-pointers against Denver last year.
This is easy. All I need is his front foot.
Who's on DLE there?
I think he's on the line.
I would like to see a different look, please.
It is close.
This view should be clear. I think he's on the line.
One more? Yeah, one more, please.
Go back to the first one, please.
Yeah. One. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate that, pal.
Officiating crew led by PJ Colello tonight.
He's the one who's been talking all night. You'll know him well by the end of the night.
Miko Red Arrow, Scott Rayburn, Chris Vahey joining him in the zebra stripes. So McNamara on the board in the third quarter's first 40 seconds.
Off the white line, please. The head of your stick.
Couple of goals in the last minute of overall time, going back to the end of the first half when Ben Martin triggered one. Remember, the Hammerheads went through a drought of nearly 19 minutes, and now they get the ball back. Justin Schwenk's been handling the face-off chores for the Hammerheads, in for the injured Noah Rack. Bubba Voigt is a high scorer for this team. He's been picked up on the outside by Scudin. Boston's in the white jerseys, Connecticut in the blue. McNamara, who is a driving force for Coach Warder. This Connecticut squad, a victory over New York 10-8. Losses to Denver convincingly by a dozen, and by Philly by 4. Morocco steps out, juggles that one into his cross, making yet another save. The goalies have definitely been sharp in this first half plus, now into the third quarter. Goodrich gliding in. Goodrich pumps this one on the way. Scanoni crossing over to make the denial. Getting away from Cockerton on the clearing effort. Krause takes it.
You never had the ball.
McNamara hitches, gets to the inside. Worked over there well on defense by Goodrich. 2 minutes down in the third. Durbin didn't pull a trigger. They move it around up top. Slicing into the rollback. Razowitz stopped there by Morocco. Rebound, score! Voigt with the quick hands.
Big Bubba. During the pandemic, he told me he missed Sunday dinners at his grandparents'. Meatballs, ravioli, bread, and easy follow-up goals. You know his cousins, Joe?
The Queeners.
Gave him a stick when he was a 3-year-old. Became a former ball boy, like so many of us. Character. I love Bubba.
First name Bradley. Call me Bubba, he said.
Call me Bubba now. He's got great hands and a instinctual ability to roam the middle and find the soft spots. Make defenses of life kind of miserable.
Brett and Bryce Queener. So fun to watch in their day, too.
Piece of work, those guys.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
Love him.
Farrell going to the goal after getting control of that draw. Farrell subbing in for Reisman. We saw him hobbling, and we heard our sideline reporter, Courtney Fallon, mentioning that Reisman's got an ailing hamstring. Cole circles it up, waits for Jackson. Boston already with 20 shots. Scanoni's been a busy cat in that crease. Cole leans in, gets under, rattles that one off the post. Big rebound, gets away from Stotts. He's attacked by Weil. Weil, who had 4 caused turnovers against New York, guarded Malloy yesterday in that first ever franchise win for Connecticut. Wasserman dealing with the defense. He'll choose Rogers next. Good field level look at Jackson going to the goal. Sends it on the way. Scanoni, just a tower of strength. 5-4 Boston Q. Courtney Fallon with more on the Cannons face-off man.
Yeah, Reisman has been working himself on the sidelines. He's been stretching that leg back and forth. I just spoke to the Boston Cannons trainer, and he said, hey, listen, I cleared him. He's good to go. But coach's decision, Sean Quirk holding him out. Athletic trainer Jason Byrne will be talking, I'm sure, with Coach Quirk before too long. Durbin, trail check there neatly from the blind side by Gilray. Kraus restarts off the end line. They'll back him up. Connecticut tomorrow against Chesapeake. Boston tomorrow against Denver. No easy assignments await as they settle this one tonight in the second half. Collins tiptoes in. Kraus is next in line. Over the top. Here it comes. Morocco made the save on Ben Martin. Doubleheader action tomorrow. You see it on your screen. Shout out of thanks to Booker Corrigan and Coach Don Zimmerman for their efforts throughout this regular season. All the men and women in our crew. Busy, busy people. Night and day after day. All the camera operators in the beating sun. Frank Brown waits. Gets doubled from Weil. Stotts is ready to go. Randy looks to get inside. A host of defenders coming to him. Shot clock's at 10. Frank Brown leveled and then sent it wide.
No reset.
Bringing it in off the end line with speed. Wasserman fires. Scanoni again took that one right in the chest protector. Scanoni season best. He had 16 against Philly, 15 against New York, 14 against Denver. Get my drift. He's on his way to 20 tonight with ease, you would think. Already at 17, 9.5 to go in the third.
17 saves. What is it, 5 goals against?
You are correct, sir.
Woo. It's upper 70s, nearly 80%-ish.
That's very Quint Kesnick-like.
Never.
Lomas directing traffic against Yazo Scaparata. Lomas fakes the behind the back. Jitterbugs in. Yazo Scaparata in great shape defensively to make a pickoff. Then he got necktied. He runs right through that. Looking for the numbers break. Long range, that's off the mark. Scooten, the close defender, pulling the trigger. Real good lacrosse game between Boston and Connecticut. Referred to it as a new New England rivalry in lacrosse.
This will be an opportunity for Boston to get out of their offensive funk and try to find a shot in the middle of the field. Let's say between the football hash marks that you can't see here in Navy Marine Corps. Here's the hold. Nothing good happens with one hand on your stick. And now Boston has the extra man.
Which has been a bit of a bugaboo for these Boston Cannons. Just 2 for 10 this week in the regular season on extra man.
Wing shots won't cut it against Scanoni unless you're doorstep.
Stotts will feed. Rogers waits. Smith was there quickly. Snapshot score to the roof. Kyle Jackson on a beautiful setup.
Stotts to Jackson. Extra man success. Jackson's getting better and better every game we see him this week. One of the founding fathers of the D1 Michigan program. Here he is right here. The assist will come from Stotts up here. And you'll see this offensive player just find the soft spot. Defense is rotating around the perimeter. The middle is void for a second. And Jackson just eases away. That's kind of a non-spoken type of sense you have to feel the defenders around you and shimmy your way into an open area.
Players and coaches and scouts say of Kyle, he's a pro in every sense of the word. Very rarely do you see him blanked. Philadelphia kept him off the score sheet totally. Boston has a 6-4 lead thanks to his extra man goal, and they've got the ball right back in the cross of John Upgren.
Our producer makes an excellent point. A lot of assisted goals for Boston. 4 of their 6 are assisted. They are a passing offense.
Dearth moves in. That pass was too high.
As they airmail the ball out of bounds.
Announcers curse. If you are just tuning in with us, first time for Major League Lacrosse this 2020 season, due to the pandemic, they've put the teams on opposite sidelines. Offensive players, defensive players, separate and apart. Riley O'Connor just jumped in off the Boston bench. Had the game winner against Philadelphia, did the former Georgetown captain. Hot and muggy night in Annapolis, Maryland. Randy Stotts is ready to go. Weil peeks out on him. Weil, who's had to cover Stotts and Dylan Malloy, and just one star after another. That one is just sent wide. O'Connor was loose for a split second. Racing in off the end line. Play it up top. Dearth hammered there. He ran right into Landon Kramer. There's a flag down. Upgren keeps it moving straight away. O'Connor's pass deflected by Smith. Wasserman rolls out of pressure, gets away from the over-the-head check. Big face dodge, slammed there by the defender on the way to the goal. Look out.
Sometimes you forget how physical the sport of lacrosse is. Okay, when you're up here, our cameras are set back. Man, these are big young men, 6'2", 6 foot, 200 pounds. Titanium shafts, minimal equipment. I mean, elbow pads. Some guys wear shoulder pads, some not. Helmets.
Second half highlights presented by Sector Spider ETFs, the next chapter in investing.
Angle play, hand-eye coordination, focus, fearlessness. Morocco shut it down on the severe pipe. He was baiting the inside pipe there. He's able to shut the door on the low shot. I love look how he ends up on the top of the crease. That's aggressive. He's attacking the ball. See the ball, go get it. Both of these guys, first-team All-Americans, as I've said many times tonight, 2018 and 19, the best collegiate goalies in the country, and now they're pros.
Scanoni on his way to 20 stops tonight. He's got 17. Morocco last year, 14 times he was in double figures. This captain of the Cannons, Nick Morocco, he's been telling us throughout the week what's most important for this Cannons team is to play with a lot of energy, be determined to be the best. Boston would love to improve to 3-1 should they prevail tonight.
You know, he told me, Morocco did, he missed the locker room vibe. Felt that the isolation of the pandemic was the hardest for him to deal with. His goal for this is to win the title. He currently works for a commercial real estate construction and development firm called Construction Source Management. Smart guy. Really picked his game up as a senior at Georgetown. He said his determination just hit a new level. Push to peak was kind of his motto, push to peak, and he got great coaching at Georgetown from assistant coach David Shriver, who handles the goaltenders for the Hoyas, and head coach Kevin Warren.
Son of Joe and Lauren. His older sisters played at Richmond. Nick Morocco, annually among the leaders when it comes to save totals. And backstopping Boston's efforts tonight as we are in one of those hydration breaks. Guys are getting their fill of water on that sideline, waiting for the resumption of play here in the third. Major League Lacrosse Commissioner Sandy Brown watching from the stands here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Sandy, of course, super busy in putting this return to play back into effect. And I love the mention that Sandy Brown made, Quint, about talking with the Major League Lacrosse Players Council twice a month, explaining how they could operate in this bubble. These guys have been transported from the stadium back to the hotel, on and on. And the players were so appreciative for the chance to play live sports again. And we love the fact that we can be here to cover it all for you.
Everybody tested negative, and you get daily temperature checks here in the morning before you enter this facility, as do we. Both Joe and I tested negative.
Pass down low gets away from Cockerton. Catered meals in the hotels. Hospitality suite. Place for the guys to blow off some steam. 6-4. Boston has the advantage. 6 minutes to go in the third.
I think there's a sense of responsibility from the players in this league. You know, now as the week goes on, it'll be tempting for them to roam out into Annapolis, but quite honestly, not much is going on. And so discipline and self-control are in everyone's best interest. And I say that to everybody, whether you're home right now in Texas, California, Florida, or right down the road in Annapolis.
And be like Sandy, wear your mask. Over the top, Durbin slithers past Scudin. Morocco makes the save there, and this will be vacuumed up by Scott Corcoran. Courtney Fallon's our sideline reporter. She was within earshot of the Cannon huddle.
5 or 6 guys. We don't need 5 or 6 guys crowded out together. Sean Cork said, spread out. Move the ball. Make it simple for yourself. Spread out.
Here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, which was opened in 1959. So you go back to last September, they celebrated 60 years here. They've been home to the Bayhawks since 09. Upgren turns. Upgren waits. Boston begging for a hold. Upgren just sent it wide.
I like Upgren, and he fits a role here. He's kind of like a change of pace guy, off the bench to lefty, 418 points while at Tufts.
Did you see his senior year numbers?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 73 goals and 131 points for the Jumbos.
Stillwater, Minnesota. His brother Turner, goalie at Duke. His other brother George plays at Richmond.
That's why he's so good. He had brothers who were willing to be shooting dummies for him. There's a pass that's too high. O'Connor chases it down. Shot clock late. It'll be a violation against Boston.
Most good goalies are like the third or fourth male child in their family.
I think I'm right. John's brothers were, the goalies are Turner and George.
George
Yep.
at Richmond.
Yep. Renz piloting this breakout for the Hammerheads.
When you're the younger brother, it's,
net.
you want to play with us? Get in the net. And then you're always playing up. It's like most Olympic sprinters are younger children also in big families who at a young age had to chase older, faster brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm. Ben Martin to the alley. Sands expected to be under pressure all night if Sean Quirk had his wish. On around it comes for Collins. Krause is next against a short stick here. Not an ordinary one, though. Goodrich is excellent. Krause gets free. He scores! Michael Krause.
This is really good. This is really good. Virginia's captain, 100 club down in Charlottesville. There's only 4 players in school history have done that. Okay, think about that. Took him to a title in 2019, battled through some severe injuries. Here he is, back and forth, back and forth. He likes his matchup against the shorty, Goodrich, who's quite a cover himself. The double comes just a tad bit late, but I give his teammates credit for just getting out of there. When you see that your teammate's got a favorable matchup, it's important that you occupy your man and drag your defender away from your teammate who's got the good setup.
Kraus, the rookie, these are his first steps, right? This is his Major League Lacrosse baptism. It was a rough one against Denver. 7 turnovers. Osika lets this one fly. Morocco challenged well. Rebounds loose. Kraus just took his eyes off of that one, and Pugel comes barreling out of there. Justin Pugel, who made the Major League Lacrosse ranks through a tryout. Turned out to be one of Sean Quirk's most valuable close defenders. Spencer on it, but we've seen Kraus just get more and more acclimated to playing at the pro level.
It's a different game. It's a different game.
Cole inside, nice pass. It startled Cockerton there for a moment. That's unusual. Wasserman away from the pressure, 2.5 to go in the third. Cole loops it over the top. Rogers thinking about it from deep. Ow, that stung a Hammerhead defender. Scanoni comes up with the ball, and there is a whistle. Osika in need of attention.
Woo. This new ball, thankfully, does not sting quite as much, but still, it's nearly 4 ounces traveling more than 90 miles an hour.
No way.
And hits him in an area he's very vulnerable, right in the ribs.
Quint, that was a really odd release out of Rogers' cross. Was it deflected?
It might have been, because it looked like it came out sideways. We'd have to take another look at that. But Adam caught a break right there, not being hit in the solar plexus.
Boy, oh boy, that's scary when you look at it again on the replay.
He was back over there.
Athletic trainer Tori Alexander for Connecticut tending to Osika.
I didn't have 7.
Just a second look, Joe. This ball almost comes out sideways. Well, I'm not sure if the ball was deflected, but I think the defender's stick impacted the release.
Weil was closing in on Rogers. You don't often see field players take a ball squarely in the chest like that. That's scary. Razowitz to move for Lomas. Shot clock is at 14. McNamara against Hooper. McNamara waiting for the double. That pass is out of the reach of Bubba Voigt.
I think the hardest thing, we're talking about Kraus and first-year players, is it's the lifestyle change that's new, okay? You don't have a coach and a athletic trainer, banging on your door, giving you a schedule, okay? It's on you. You need to discipline yourself to work out before work or after. You also have to learn how to travel on your own, learn how to take care of yourself. So it's for players who relied on guidance from their college program, sometimes they struggle in year 1 as pros.
One minute to go in the third. Pass there. Nice read, though. Recovered extremely well by Michael Brown as he sprints to safety in the final minute of the third quarter.
I got so much respect for these players this week, playing in this heat, back-to-back games. These guys make some money, Joe. It's not that much. I mean, it's $1,000 to $3,000 a game. Basically, the salary structure in this league. They're doing it for the love of the game. They're doing it to play amongst their friends, amongst their peers. They're doing it because they have a competitive edge to them, and they're doing it because they love lacrosse. They've played lacrosse since they were 4 or 5 years old. It's what they do.
They are super competitive, you're right. A lot of them say unfinished business from last year. A year in which Chesapeake was crowned champion, winning a mile high against Denver. Open here, point blank score! The put away for Ben Martin. Just before quarter's end.
Game on. What a terrific quarter from Connecticut. Sands' eyes are up, man. He's a good passer. He knew exactly what he wanted to get accomplished when he pressed the left side. He saw Martin earlier, but didn't want to give it away to the defense. You know what I mean by that, Joe?
Yes.
He saw he was open, but he didn't want to stare at him because he knew the window would close. So Sands does a good job of driving up the left side and keeping that a secret until the last second, and Martin buries the rock.
Martin would not allow Morocco to match stick on stick there. That quick move opening up just a sliver of space as this third quarter comes to its conclusion with a face-off win for Boston's Nate Farrell. One final fling. Scanoni has it in his cross, and we are done with 3.
Watch Will Sands. We talk about eye control and being deceptive. His head is up and it's neutral, but he sees the man on the backside. By the time the ball's in the cross of Martin, it's too late. We're tied up at 6.
Better late than never. Let's get back to the live action. Fourth quarter underway. Joe and Quint upstairs. Courtney Fallon, your sideline reporter. Boston and Connecticut in a very good lacrosse game. 6-6 now down the home stretch. Connecticut is in the blue. They rallied neatly in the third quarter, outscoring Boston 4-1 to draw even at 6. Connecticut turning up the heat in the last 19 minutes or so of game time to reel in the cannons. Sands on the move, guarded there by Scott Hooper. Over the top, score! Ben Martin's pumped up.
First lead for Connecticut. We're looking at a pair of 5-1 games. Boston led 5-1. Connecticut then countered with a 5-1 run of their own over 29 minutes and tied up at 6. The same connection. Sands to Martin. That is a brilliant shot, okay? Every step that Martin takes to his right, he's going to lose his angle. So he decelerates, catches it, and he makes sure to shoot that overhand. You go side on there, again, you're decreasing your angle. And he just nails. He put a dart to the off pipe against the lefty Morocco. That was really well crafted from the Dartmouth, the big green grad.
Ben Martin, the subject of this report from Courtney Fallon.
He was the guy that head coach Bill Warder pointed out in that last scrum in the huddle along with Michael Brown. He gave a really impassioned speech at the start of that fourth quarter. He said, listen, guarantee you this Boston Cannons team, this is not the spot that they want to be in. Tied in the start of the fourth quarter. They have had everything handed to them. We have to be smart on the clears, smart in transition, smell the blood.
Wasserman works it up top, and they'll get it there to the capable cross of Rogers off the split dodge. Scanoni just flexing his muscles in time.
Smell the blood. Is that like the motto of the Hammerheads?
It
as
should
a shark?
be. It should be. How many species of sharks?
400.
Wow.
400 species of sharks. Sand shark, hammerhead, black nose, blue shark, tiger shark, blunt nose shark, basking shark, great white shark.
I think you got, well, not quite 100. Wasserman fading away. He scores. Bryce Wasserman ends the drought.
Straight line speed dodge. That handcuffs Scanoni. Running away from the goal, he turns and fires. 5-hole, little fist pump to finish it off. Wasserman, who told us he's been training in Grapevine, Texas. He's a law student at University of Miami Sports and Entertainment Law. Big family of good athletes. He was a great high school football player, was Bryce, and you see his speed on display. Texas, think about Ryan Brown, Jake Stover, Colby Knies, Cade Sawstad. They're producing big-time D1 players now, Joe.
No doubt about that. No doubt at all with the terrific surplus of outstanding athletes. Voigt in tight with a steal. He scores. Bubba Voigt.
Wow, Voigt. He found the thin mints here. Long ground ball scramble that kicks into the zone. Kraus fishing at it. Morocco comes out. Osika flies through there. Oh, there's Voigt. Oh, he's got the best beard here, I'll tell you that much. That's like he doesn't even need a mask because he's just got that beard, and from a distance it looks like he's got a mask on.
Ain't that the truth? Son of James and Laura, 5 kids in the family, 3 of them boys. Bubba on the board again, his second of the game.
You know, he's so charismatic in the way he plays. He's going to be a fan favorite as a pro. There's just something about his game that you kind of root for him and you enjoy watching him play. Maybe it's because he loves the game so much, it just comes through in everything he does in his body language.
Connecticut assistant coach Brian Hobart on the sideline was Bubba's high school coach. Stott sends this one wide. Cockerton will chase it down.
There he is.
Bubba's just
Catching
waiting
his
for
breath.
his next chance. Boston already over 40 shots taken in this game. They have peppered Scanoni. Towards the cage now, the look for Cole. That's deflected. It'll be out of bounds and belonging to Connecticut in blue.
Scanoni approaching 20 saves in this game.
This is the back end of the doubleheader. Earlier today, Philadelphia with a win over New York, eliminating the Lizards from playoff contention and keeping Philadelphia alive in the quest to be in the top 4. Morocco, as you get his point of view from the goal, looking out at the defense, shaping up against the Hammerheads. Your good goody means that Goodrich is in good shape defensively. Pugel now on Kraus. All the way up top, they'll roll it for Durbin. Working in again against Goodrich, who mauls him into the lane. Switch it up. Underneath, Morocco gets that cross down in time. Eats up the worm burner, and away come the Cannons. This clearing effort, Pugel takes it off the deck. As you look at the standings, Denver sets the pace. A 4-0 mark, one more game for the Outlaws. That's against Boston tomorrow. On the move, Brendan Collins, just gliding into the attack. Voigt says, give it to me. Go ahead.
If Connecticut ends up with 2 wins,
yes,
and Philadelphia ends up with 2 wins, they will lose that tiebreaker.
Philadelphia lost to Connecticut, or rather, Connecticut lost to Philly 14-10 earlier in the season.
Philly wins that tiebreaker.
Head-to-head, yes.
So Connecticut needs to win this game.
Over the top, here it comes. Lomas, too tall.
Philly's done at 2-3, Joe. Philly's done at 2-3. Connecticut loses this game, they fall to 1-3, and they win their last game. They're 2-3, but they would lose the tiebreaker to Philly.
To Philly, yes. Razowitz, long way from the goal, setting the pace there with Goodrich.
Guys don't even try Goodrich. That's how
Nope.
good he is. We haven't mentioned Goodrich. I have not mentioned his name once in the 2 games we've seen from him, or 3 maybe.
Last year on this turf, he was the youngest all-star on the group.
Like, guys don't even go against him. That's how much respect he gets.
Fire and ice game that was won by Brendan Sunday in overtime.
That's how good number 12 in white is.
Quite good.
Just don't go there. There he is. He runs with you. He puts his stick on you, and man, he cross-checks. He is a vicious cross-checker. He'll pitchfork you, toss you out of the saloon. He'll toss you out of McGarvey's.
Guy who's had back surgery in the past before his senior year in college.
I mean, you build a bunch of these college coaches with drool. 6'2", 200, runs like the wind, strong. He's the head lacrosse coach right now at Naps. That's Navy Prep.
Kraus gets inside, scores! Michael Kraus.
Oh, you hear the controversy, Joe. That's not moving. You heard moving. Oh, what does that mean? Well, there's a pick involved in this goal. Down screen. Boom, right there. Matchup change. Turn and rake. This is a classic example of a down screen set here. Now, the matchup change happens here. This defender has got to step out and be more aggressive on Kraus. Here's the pick. Feet are set. It's clean. Yazo Scaparota is just a hair late and takes a bad angle, allowing Kraus to turn the corner. That's great offense, though. That is just a classic example of how a down pick can free up the left-handed curl dodge topside.
Connecticut has vaulted to a 2-point lead, and Schwenk comes up with the draw in a battle of back-off face-off men. Reisman has been ailing tonight. Rack hasn't played at all. Morocco just gets enough of that and has it trickle wide. And Morocco looks like he's stung there for a moment. Scudin going back to his keeper for help on the clear. You have 20 seconds to get it across the midline. 6, 5, 4, no trouble.
Gets a piece.
Shot from the face-off man. Schwenk there, almost dribbled in.
Well, this is a critical possession for
And it's
Boston.
a mistake.
They just throw it out of bounds. This is an offense without a rhythm. Remember, they're up 5-1 in this game in the second quarter.
Sean Quirk been pacing on that sideline for a while.
They created a hot goalie, and now they got to solve him. Poor shot selection early gave Sean Scanoni all sorts of confidence. Yeah, even though Connecticut was losing, Boston shooting was not effective, and now they can't get to the middle of the field, and the goal looks awful small, doesn't it?
It does for a team that spent their off day relaxing, stretching, a lot of mental prep, some recovery treatments, Sean Quirk was saying. Voigt, his pass is deflected. The carom winds up right there for the goalie stick of Nick Morocco. Goodrich will breeze back into the attack territory and get out of there for some offensive subs. Whistle going to give the ball back to Connecticut. That's 2 empty trips in a row for Boston. Self-inflicted wounds. Ben Martin, who has 2 of the last 4 on the board for Connecticut. 6.5 to go, regulation time. Fast-moving lacrosse game. On another humid, hot night in Annapolis, Maryland from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Kraus leisurely back behind the goal. Shot clock is at 23. Outside move off the split. Nothing there for Razowitz. Shot clock to 5, and it's a buzz bomb to the corner. McNamara.
A 9-2 run for the Hammerheads. Screen. Look at Morocco, he can't see the ball. Pegs the water bottle, always a good sign. No reaction from the goaltender. Points out, you got to work hard to see the ball as a goaltender. The second you get off the bus, the key word is watch. Watch the ball, watch the ball, watch the ball. Always ready. If for a fraction of a second you can't see it, you got to move your head. You got to be mobile. You can't see, you can't save what you can't see.
McNamara on the board. The lead grows to 4. And there is a review now of McNamara for the second time tonight, I think, with the foot close to the 2-point arc line.
Clearly in. You see the traffic in front. It just impedes the vision of the goaltender, McNamara. Excuse me, the goaltender, Morocco, as McNamara lets this rip through traffic.
McNamara, who is so dependable when it comes to points from the midfield, lacing that one on the short side past Morocco. The officials with a brief deliberation to see whether or not that was worth 2.
Ryan told me he loves coaching kids in Minnesota right now. He thinks the state is a blossoming hotbed. Toe on the line. You got so many young hockey players. It's a really great cross-training for them, as it's been in Canada for decades. Kids with natural hand-eye coordination who understand the flow of the game, the 5-on-5 up-and-down nature, who are tough, who are gritty.
Courtney Fallon has more now on one of Ryan's teammates, reserve netminder Chris Elaine.
Yeah, really serious, very articulate conversations today, very powerful conversations discussing the Black Lives Matter movement, social justice within Major League Lacrosse. I spoke to a couple of those guys. They said, listen, this isn't a movement. It is a movement. It's not a moment. The significance of not only representing an African-American man in Major League Lacrosse, but what that voice says nationally. One of those tough conversations they're having with each other. It's been progressive. Mark and IDA, they've had a lot of intellectual conversations. They bounce ideas off each other, and together they're going to help their sport grow.
Absolutely, Courtney, and the league stands with them as they attempt to forward their initiatives. Jackson moving into the offense, rings this one off the post. Ground ball down. There's a flag as well with 5:18 to play in regulation.
This league is fortunate to have those gentlemen be such exceptional players. It also has 5 Native American players,
Hit him in the head, man.
including
8
Lyle
white.
Thompson.
Sorry, 8 blue. 8 blue, slash. 1.
Penalty against Bevel. There's Chris Elaine, who played in the Big Ten at Rutgers. Top 5 in saves all time in the Scarlet Knight program. Backing up Sean Scanone. It's tough to get playing time when you're sitting behind the goalie of the year. Now in his second full campaign.
Chris is an upcoming coach. He's an assistant at Canisius. He was a coach on the Puerto Rican national team in Netanya 2 summers ago, the World Championships.
Cole will skip it. Rogers will move it. And sweeping here at Stotts. Goes behind the back. Rogers slings it wide. So we are 10-7 after the McNamara goal was ruled to be a single. McNamara's second on the night. Pinpoint passing here. Stotts goes behind the back. Beautiful ball movement. Jump shot, score! Bryce Wasserman.
That was a must-make. Swasserman's played a strong week. You talk about guys who put in the time. Conditioning coming to the surface here. Stotts, I mean, that's really skillful.
All right, boys,
Jump shot is the key there. Wasserman's moving upfield, so his angle's increasing with every step as he goes left to right. High release, low location. He changes levels, and that handcuffs the goaltender.
Pretty to watch from the only Monmouth player to ever play in Major League Lacrosse. Bodies come flying there.
When he
Reisman
first
back in
called
business.
It was here. Timeout right there. When he first called it, it was right here. Timeout, blue.
Connecticut gets the time with 4.5 to play in the 4th.
Absolutely.
Reisman, who's been gutting it out throughout the night, dealing with a hamstring injury. Guys getting a chance to catch their breath.
He had it. Yeah.
This evening's defensive play of the game, Quinn Kesnick, is brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance.
It's been really a thrill and a joy to watch both goaltenders operate. But Sean Scanone, second-year pro out of UMass, top goalie in the country in 2019, the lefty Long Islander. He's been just terrific. Over 20 saves.
Almost 2 dozen. That is a full night's work for Sean Scanone. Quinn Kesnick, do you remember your single game high at Johns Hopkins?
College? 21 in a national title game.
That's not bad. That'll work. Does that trump my measly 32?
That was back when people used to shoot.
I couldn't control rebounds, Q. That's why I had so many saves.
That's back, when teams would combine for 100 shots a game.
I love the way you just subtly drop 21 in a national championship game. Yeah, that'll work. Durbin on the go. Edwards running him to the ditch. Kraus is behind the cage. Connecticut in blue, leading by 2 if you're just tuning in. Exciting last 4 minutes straight ahead. These teams trying to qualify for Major League Lacrosse's semifinal action. It will be here on Saturday. One more day in the regular season tomorrow. Collins rolls in. That one off the top of his cross.
Joe, it's funny. People ask me, what was the best game? What was your best game? I was always looking for perfection. And even in high school, I said, if I ever shut a team out and play a perfect game, I'll hang it up.
Sent wide there from the severe angle. Kraus was mauled on his way to the crease.
White 77, push 30.
When you get to a high level, you always want more. You want to do it a little better. Like a perfect game and throw strikes on all your outlets. But there's no such thing as a perfect game when you really grade yourself. And that's what drives all these guys. These guys are really, really good at what they do. And they always want to do a little better the next time. And even at this age, whether they're 21, a year out of college, whether they're 30, a guy like P.T. Ricci, or a guy been playing in this game for more than 5 years, that motivates them. The thought of getting better and putting time into your craft, whether it's your body, your stick work, your teamwork.
Extra man unit getting a little bit of a workout tonight for Connecticut. A chance to add some insurance to their lead. Lomas playing catch. McNamara for Lomas once again. Deal it down low. Kraus guarded by Scudin. Feed to the interior. Not short hop there. That would have been a tough catch for Sands.
Ooh, opportunity squandered now.
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
Because I think 11 goals would have won this game. If Connecticut scored there, I think they can hold a 3-goal lead. But holding a 2-goal lead now is going to be precarious, especially with a 2-point shot. Well, that helps. That's a 60-second, basically, take off the clock right now. Faulty turnover at the midfield, and that'll drive Sean Quirk nuts.
Sean still has his 2 timeouts. Connecticut does not have one. 2:40 and counting in the 4th. Connecticut has the ball and a 2-point lead. Connecticut that was limited to just 2 tallies in the first half alone.
This is trouble.
Finding room for Trevor Smith, the long stick midfielder on the shovel. It works out nicely to Ben Martin.
Man, he was cornered there, Joe.
Without a doubt, and now Connecticut can continue to run time from the game clock. Halfway through the 60-second shot clock.
I mean, Boston's looking at 1 possession,
That's
yes,
about right.
Maybe 2.
Need to force a turnover here pretty soon. Goodrich entrusted with those responsibilities. Morocco coordinates from the Boston cage. The Cannons have to have a stop here. McNamara slithers inside, fires! It's blocked in front, rebound, comes up for White. It comes up White for Tim Edwards. Edwards racing ahead, full sprint. Pulls it out there and finds Upgren. Boston will get offensive-minded subs on. Jackson's there with the ball, 90 seconds with which to work. Jackson to the lane, sends this one wide of Scanoni. Is there anybody there for the backup? No!
Oh, wow!
They're going to give it to Connecticut.
You got to press now. If you're Boston, you got to bring some heat on this ride. You got to be really aggressive on ball.
Hammerheads hold on. They will have an equal 2-2 record, same as the Boston Cannons. Rolling away from the pressure, Brown has a successful clear. Collins fakes, gets inside, gets away from the check of Hooper. 1 minute to go in regulation, Connecticut by 2. Sands running for cover. Scudin is there, laboring to stay with him. Here comes the help. It's coming from Corcoran. They'll double him on the end line. Ball put down. It comes up for Voigt. Away from his opposite number 1. That's the goalie. Obviously there, Morocco.
Legs down.
Voigt open net. He scores. With a flag down, Connecticut tacks on a major goal.
Tell you, this result, folks, this is an upset in the highest magnitude. And this shakes everything up.
Always good. 1 white, unsportsmanlike. 1 minute.
Boston viewed as a title contender. Connecticut kind of a new face, a lot of youngsters. Slow start this week.
They were mauled by Denver. Mauled by
number 1 Denver, and they're going to be 2-2 with a tiebreaker over Boston. Morocco comes out. He'll pick up the penalty, I think. Voigt splits it. He gets slashed multiple times. Bubba picks up his 3rd goal of the game.
37 seconds away from victory lane for Connecticut. Reisman gutting it out with a bad hamstring, wins the draw. Boston's going to get the time. Reisman barking at Schwenk after he made the face-off win. How do you do Connecticut?
No, it wasn't. No, it stopped. It stopped. You blew the whistle and the clock stopped. Yeah, exactly where it is. No. I got nothing. You called timeout, the clock stopped. I was watching the clock. I didn't see the clock.
Major League Lacrosse is presented by Powerade. More power for more. New Balance, made for lacrosse. Sector Spider ETFs, the next chapter in investing. Warrior, play to win. And by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Well, Quint Kesnick, all the excitement of a regular season condensed and slammed into 9 days, and when you start looking at the standings, if things should hold and Connecticut gets the win tonight, we have an incredibly interesting final day of the regular season ahead, trying to determine which 4 teams qualify for the semifinals.
That's because Boston, Connecticut, and Philadelphia would all have 2 wins.
As of now, Philadelphia's slate is clear, though. They do not play tomorrow. New York was eliminated when the barrage beat them earlier. Sean Quirk and the Cannons, they have work to do tomorrow. They'll play Denver, while the Hammerheads will square off with Chesapeake. Final 28 seconds of regulation. Boston with the ball. Stotts has it. Cannons are down 3. They need a miracle. Ball's deflected, and it's stolen away. Landon Kramer. Ball's lost there down on the deck. Reserve netminder Dom Madonna starts to clear for Boston. 5 seconds to go, and the Connecticut Hammerheads have done it. Pugles drive sails high. An outstanding goaltending effort from Sean Scanoni. He's going to get a lion's share of the credit. Scanoni better than 20 saves tonight. He and his mates celebrate the 11-8 decision.
You think about Voigt's hat trick, Will Sands, a couple great assists. Ben Martin shot the ball well. Michael Krause, the rookie, but you know, this game would have been out of control early, Joe, had Sean Scanoni not stood on his head, early especially. They were down 5-1, and he was just dealing with pressure. And finally in the 3rd quarter, the Hammerheads woke up. And this is a young team that's going to be dangerous.
Okay, so we do the math for you. These are the Major League Lacrosse standings up to date. Denver and Chesapeake are feeling pretty good, but look what happens now with Connecticut, Boston, and Philadelphia. Barrage have played their 5 games. Nothing left for them to do.
Big games tomorrow, Friday. Chesapeake, Connecticut, and then the nightcap, Denver and Boston.
The Connecticut Hammerheads put up a tremendous fight. Sean Scanoni on the back end of their defense, the backbone of their defense, just brilliant in the cage. Voigt, McNamara, Krause, the offensive gifts on display, and the Hammerheads take down the Cannons by the final score of 11-8 here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium.
I think their coach, Bill Warder, deserves a lot of credit, Joe, because in talking to him today, felt they were well-rested, hungry, getting better, just doing things better every game, and we've seen that. There's teams that have gone the wrong way this week. This will be a major eye-opener for Boston, who had eyes on a championship trophy.
Revealing tonight's player of the game, presented by Powerade, more power for more. Here's Courtney Fallon with Sean Scanoni.
Oh boy, you were peppered with shots all night. 22 saves. I have to ask, are you tired?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a goalie, so not really. Those guys in the midfield do a great job all game, running up and down. Those defensive middies, I couldn't be happier with the way those guys played tonight. Boston's a great team. Give them a ton of credit.
Yeah, now you're doing a nice little shake-up to the standings. What are your chances? What do you think are your team's chances this weekend?
Listen, Chesapeake's a great team tomorrow. We have them tomorrow here, and we got to get some rest tonight, and we got to come out hot tomorrow because we have a great opportunity in front of us.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
There's the analysis from the star netminder Sean Scanoni. The Hammerheads knock off the Cannons. For Quinn, for Courtney, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks for your time. Major League Lacrosse continues tomorrow, an exciting doubleheader to finish things. 4 Eastern on ESPN+. Connecticut and Chesapeake, Denver and Boston. The Connecticut Hammerheads down the Cannons by 3.
Boston Cannons Championship Run 2020 season replay brought to you by Suffolk Construction.